But what about like good and evil? Is there like a symbiotic relationship between good and evil?
You can only be one in the presence of the other, right?
So you can only be good if there's evil, or can you
Well,
be
yeah,
evil?
by definition,
Yeah.
right? Like you can't have good things because if everything's good, then everything is just
Like the
it's
way I
you
see
can't
it,
call it good. If everything's the same, you can't call it good. So it's like you only have something, or you only have something evil when something's good by comparison.
there can't be light without darkness.
Yeah.
But what about like, let's say in the world of 1984, where everything is bad? Like in 1984, the government in that story controls everything, controls information, literally like almost completely shapes reality. And in that story, the only kind of like glimmer of light is the main character, but there's like an overwhelming presence of evil, and like the evil eventually sort of, like spoiler alert, the evil eventually vanquishes the good in that story. So so in that case, like I don't think like one
Right, but in that scenario, good things existed before.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but like but what about like once if the good thing has been vanquished or the bad thing has been vanquished, then is there like, would there still be good or evil, or would it be where like,
Well, no, it would just be
the
all
standard
that would exist is that would be the standard.
so the standard would change?
Yeah.
You would say.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just like standards nowadays, like there's things today that we're all completely fine with, whereas like let's say 300 years ago it would be like an affront to morality, and then you have other things where it's like we're way too like we really care about it and we're like, no, this is fucked up, whereas 300 years ago it would just be like, who cares, whatever. There's a lot of stuff like if you get into a scuffle at the local tavern and you used a rapier to stab a dude, it's just like, oh well, what doth he say about your maidenhood? Like like nobody cares. It's like, oh, you said something, then you deserve to get clapped. That's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like especially with things that when it comes to things that are more like about aggression and violence, like
Okay.
our attitudes to that have changed. And then there's also things that like like what
Yeah.
we would consider evil or good.
Yeah, if you think about it, like let's say during the times of the Roman Empire, they had like gladiatorial combat. We even did a review of not a review, but like a breakdown of Gladiator, and like in that movie, you can see that like the whole idea of people going out in the middle of like in an arena and then just slaughtering each other for the amusement of other people was like something that was accepted. But now, if you look at that, it's like, oh, that's bad. It's wrong to do something like that. So the standard, I guess, yeah, like you're right, like it changes over time. And you said something that like something interesting, which was that there's like